Here's the thing as we get into this topic, Kevin. My wife, she got
Nice.
My
home.
wife.
She got home from working a wedding in the Woodlands late last night. And
Ooh,
of
the
course, she
Woodlands. Ooh,
she is
fancy.
obsessed with Carlos Correa staying with the Astros because baseball free agency is going on at the same time. And I said to her, she's like, "Why are you up?" I'm like, "Well, I saw on Twitter that Carlos Correa might sign, so I was staying up." And I said to her, "Deshaun Watson might sign with the Saints," and I made like this face where I was like kind of gross and not excited. And she literally said to me, "Stop with that baby bullshit. Do you want to win or don't you?" My wife gives no bleeps about off the field stuff. She doesn't care, and she thinks that me caring is weird. But I
You're
care, and
weak.
like
You're
Deshaun
weak.
Watson, like it's complicated. Saints Twitter, we're fight. Everybody's yelling at each other, fighting with each other.
I
I mean,
wasn't thinking any
he
more
has
than that.
admitted to consensual behavior or acts, which would mean that he paid for sex essentially,
Which is
which is
illegal in the
which
state
is
of
illegal.
Texas.
So yeah,
Oh,
like
in Texas.
I do think the NFL could absolutely whack him for a suspension. Now, whether they do or not, I don't know. But uh, yeah, I don't know. I will say betting. Like I think it's very conceivable. We already know a lot of the criminal charges have been dropped. All of them have been, and we'll see what happens with the other stuff. But like I think these cases are really hard to prove. We know that, and if he gets away scot free from anything, civil cases as well. At that point, what is the NFL going to do? They don't have.
I think
What's really resonated with me with this whole Watson thing is that a couple of fans, a couple of patrons, a couple of people have been on our show and they've said, this just isn't fun. Like, and I believe
right,
that this is
right, right.
temporary, but that really resonates with me because like that's the whole reason we do this, and that's the
Yeah,
whole. And I remember like the two times in my life as a Saints fan where I was like, wow, this isn't fun. The first one was when Aaron Brooks was quarterback and he was playing injured, and everyone was asking for Jake Delhomme, and the fan base was completely divided. And at the time, I was a huge Aaron Brooks supporter, and like that was miserable. I just remember that being really miserable. And the second one for me was the Drew Brees thing when he went on Yahoo Finance,
yeah,
and I feel like at the time I said some things about Breeze that were critical, and I got crushed for it.
yeah.
And then I felt like the pendulum was swinging too far the other way, and so then I started to maybe defend him a little bit, and people got offended by that. And you quickly realize like there's nothing you can say like without catching some heat with something like
Yeah,
that. And so
it's
it's when the fan base gets super divided like this, like, and those were the two instances I could remember. It
it's
sucks. I agree.
it's more fun when we are all united in
Yeah.
hating the Falcons.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
but yeah, no, and my thoughts on the situation are it does kind of suck a lot of the fun out of it. It's a tough it's a kind of a tough situation because I can see the other side of it, which is he went through the judicial process and he
Innocent
was.
until proven guilty. Yep.
Yeah, and so it's like if you believe in the legal system, if you believe in our court system, if you believe what we've got set up, and look, we know that they've been wrong, and I'm not again, nobody is saying that he's innocent, but he's at least allowed to continue on with his life, and uh, so it's just I don't know, it's tough.
It it's tough.
It's tough because I can see both sides of it, and uh, I guess I guess if you're somebody who is sure that he is guilty of these actions, but that the legal system just failed, well, then your anger technically should be, and your ire should be focused at the legal system more than anything else, I guess I would say.
And I'm kind of. I mean, I'm over it, but like I kind of have gotten to a point where I'm just like, look, I can't control this situation. So I feel like we have a choice to make. We can either root for the Saints or not. Like and like Kevin, kudos to you, and I respect your decision. Like that's a breaking point for you. You're like, I'm out. And that's not the case for me. I'm going to continue to watch. And so my thing is, like, I don't control this anyway. So in some ways, it's incredible drama. Like, it's incredible. If I'm watching a soap opera, like, this is crazy drama that
It's crazy
has me
drama.
intrigued. And like, I feel like at the end of the day, he's either going to screw up, at which point we're all going to go nuts and point the finger at the Saints, and we will be correct in doing so. Or maybe, just maybe, he'll be a model citizen. He'll turn his life around, and it won't be a problem. And either way, like, I have no control over it. So in the meantime, I'm just going to watch and root for the team.
They traded for Deshaun Watson, and they burned the franchise to the ground. We haven't been to the playoffs in a decade. This was horrible. Like, I don't see it going. It's gonna be extreme, one or the other.
There's a lot of fans that aren't talking about the off the field stuff. They're not happy about the comp. And they're just going to, and those are the ones that are going to scream the loudest, I told you so. If the Saints go 7-10, they'll say, you decimated the roster so much that getting an elite quarterback made you worse.
Even assuming that he is guilty of any of that, he hasn't had any sort of actual any lasting consequence for any of that if he did it.
Well, he sat out a year.
There will be civil.
He got paid though.
Sure.
He sat out a year, but he got paid.
And at that point, still, does he then deserve the right to continue to make tens of millions of dollars if he did that? Like, there are people saying, "Oh, well, if he was a insert low-paid occupation, would you care then?" Probably not.
We wouldn't know who he was.
Exactly. We wouldn't know who he was.
You don't go to Starbucks and ask
Watson
for their employees' criminal records.
Right. I mean, if he, I don't know. It's like, that's the thing. You're talking about somebody at a high earning power, a position of power or privilege or whatever. Do you get to immediately go right back to that if you've allegedly done something horrific? And I don't know. That's a philosophical thing that's maybe beyond just the Deshaun Watson thing. And I can tell that we're all tired of it.
Well, it's not.
I really need to stop with the Starbucks because Saints to Death is calling me out on that now, and he's correct.
I was going to say I've been watching Succession, and yes, you can just get away with a lot of stuff if you're rich.
Is this the biggest gamble / risk in Saints history? I was trying to think of a comparison to it. Ricky Williams comes to mind, but this feels multitudes more. Like,
I think it's bigger. It's
I don't know
it's your franchise quarterback, and if it doesn't work out, you're nuking yourself for a minimum of 5 years. So, by the way, Brett in Lafayette made the comment, kissing Susie Colbert seems so innocent now. That's messed up. But I do think it's yeah. I mean, I would say I would put Dale Carter up there. Acquiring him was very risky at the time, and it blew up in their face almost immediately.
Oh my God, it blew up.
Yeah,
immediately.
In Ricky Williams was a huge risk, and it blew up in their face as well. But
this is the anti Darren Sharper. This is the bizarro Darren Sharper.
What do you mean?
Well, like, they come in and they play well, and then after they're retired and gone, then we find out all the bad stuff. This is the opposite. We already know the bad stuff.
That's right.
Now we're signing them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do. I think this is the
Steve Walsh was
move.
pretty risky. They gave a 1, a 2, and a 3 for him, but
that's not even close to this.
Thanks for watching the Saints Happy Hour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, then find us wherever you get your podcast, and finally go to saintshappyhour.com and become a patron of the best Saints podcast on earth.